This story was sent to me by Caleb from a small town in Ohio. He said this happened last summer when his family moved into a quiet neighborhood at the edge of town. Their new house was on Wren Street. It was cheap, too cheap. The realtor said the previous owners moved suddenly, and the house had been empty for almost a year. Caleb didn't think much of it until the second night. At around 3:12 a.m., he heard knocking on the front door. He looked out the peephole, nobody there. But across the street, he saw a man just standing under a streetlight facing their house. The man didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there. Caleb thought maybe it was a neighbor, but when he blinked, the man was gone. The next morning, he mentioned it to the guy next door, an old man named Mr. Haynes. Mr. Haynes didn't laugh. He just said, "Don't look at them too long. They don't like being noticed." Caleb tried to ask what that meant, but the old man shut his door without another word. That night, Caleb couldn't sleep. He kept hearing footsteps outside, slow, pacing footsteps, circling the house. He finally got up and pulled his curtain open, just a crack, and there, standing in the middle of the street again, was the same man. But this time, there were more of them. 3, maybe 4, all facing his house, heads tilted slightly.
"I see you."
He told me he felt this pressure, like they knew he was looking. Then one of them moved, snapping their head to face his exact window. Caleb ducked instantly. When he looked again, they were gone. The third night was the last. Around midnight, the power went out. The whole block went dark, except for one thing. The basement light turned on by itself. Caleb grabbed a flashlight and went down the stairs. The air was freezing. On the far wall, he saw muddy handprints leading toward the old cellar door. He told me he heard voices down there whispering his name. "Caleb, Caleb, come down." The door began to open by itself, inch by inch. He slammed it shut, ran upstairs, and didn't stop until he and his family were in the car. When they moved out the next day, he saw something written on the basement window from the inside. Just 3 words. "We found you." Caleb said the new family moved in last month. And sometimes late at night, when he drives by Wren Street, he swears he still sees people standing under that same street light, facing that same house. This story was sent in by someone named Lauren from Colorado. She told me it's been 3 years, and she still has nightmares about what happened that night. Lauren and her 3 friends, Derek, Mia, and Ethan, decided to camp near Mirror Lake. It wasn't an official campsite, but Derek said he'd been there before. Totally safe, he said. No people, no noise. They arrived just before sunset, set up 2 tents, and built a fire. The first night was peaceful. Stars, laughter, ghost stories. Lauren said the forest almost felt too quiet, like it was listening. Around 1 a.m., Lauren woke up. She heard something moving outside her tent, slow footsteps, crunching through the dry leaves. She whispered Derek's name, thinking he was out there. No answer. The steps circled her tent once, twice, then stopped right by the zipper. She didn't move, barely breathed. After a few seconds, something pressed against the fabric, like a hand. Then she heard a whisper, a child's voice. "Can I come inside?" Lauren froze. Her phone battery was dead. She lay there, staring at the moving shadow, until it finally walked away, light steps, like bare feet. In the morning, she told the others, Derek said it was probably an animal, But then they found small barefoot prints in the dirt, too small for any of them. They decided to stay one more night, stupid, but they didn't want to admit they were scared. Around midnight, Ethan started recording the sounds around camp on his phone, a nature log, he called it. That's when they heard it, a low whistling, coming from deep in the trees. It wasn't wind, it was a tune, simple, repetitive, like someone trying to mimic a song. Derek yelled out, "Who's there?" The forest went completely silent. They decided to sleep in shifts. Lauren and Mia went first. Around 3 a.m., Lauren opened her eyes and saw Ethan, or at least she thought it was him, standing outside the tent, facing away from them. She whispered his name. He didn't move. Then in a voice that didn't sound right, he said, "Don't come out." At sunrise, they packed up fast. Ethan was gone, his sleeping bag empty, phone missing. They called for him for hours, but there was no sign. When they finally made it back to town, Mia's phone picked up service again. Notifications flooded in, and one was from Ethan. A voice message sent around 3:12 a.m. Lauren played it. You could hear heavy breathing, and then Ethan whispering, "It's copying me. Don't follow it. Don't look at its face." Then there was another voice, higher, echoing his words with a delay. "Don't follow it. Don't look at its face," before the recording cut off. Two weeks later, the Rangers found Ethan's phone by the lake. It was waterlogged but intact. His last video was a short, shaky clip taken near their campfire. It showed something pale standing just behind Lauren's tent, barely visible through the smoke. Its mouth was open too wide, and when the camera shook, it smiled. Lauren said she can't remember packing up that night. She doesn't know how she got home. But sometimes when she's alone, she hears that same whistling outside her window. She told me she doesn't go camping anymore, not because she's afraid of the wood, but because she knows it wasn't the woods she left behind. If you made it this far, you're braver than most. I post true scary stories just like this one every week. So before you go to sleep, make sure you subscribe.